I'm just going to be talking a little bit about the day that I discovered that something was up. The night before, I had just celebrated my friend's birthday, and I drank a little bit too much and definitely smoked a few too many darts, so it felt like I had a justification for what I was feeling. Anyway, I woke up and picked up my guitar, which was just par for the course for me. Even if I wasn't playing it, I would just have it on my lap, just plucking around here and there or something. And I went to play a song, and I was just like, oh, that sounds like shit. Oh, that was a bad take. So I went to do it again, and it was just as bad. So I went to play just a single chord and paying a little closer attention to it, and I just fumbled into another poorly formed sound. So I was just like, okay, I'm just like overthinking myself here now. I'm just gonna truck through it. So I went to try and truck through it, and I didn't even make it through half the song before I just put it down and thought, I took in way too much last night. I'm gonna need to give this a minute. So I went to give it a minute. But when the evening came and I tried to pick up the guitar and play again, I was met with the same breakdown of what I thought my fingers knew how to do. Like, these were chords that I had played thousands of times before without even a second thought, and now I couldn't even form a single one with all of my attention and energy on it. So yeah, the rest of the evening I was quite lethargic, and I just had faith that a good night's sleep would get things back to square one here. It would fix things right up. So I drank my water, I rested my hands, and I got a good early bed. The only problem is, the problem continued, and it was maybe even worse. And then I started getting nervous that maybe I had just melted my brain with too much alcohol and nicotine. But there were a couple days where I was like, I had just put my guitar in the corner. It was like, I don't want to think about you, I don't want to touch you. There were a couple days where I was feeling a little off, maybe a little clumsy, but it wasn't until I went to play a board game that I went to shuffle some cards where I thought, something is wrong. Oh God, something bad has happened. I need to get this checked out. And so of course I hit Google, and anyone who has went to Google their health symptoms knows that it's just, you never come out feeling better about it. So I just got more scared, and looking at my symptoms, it just kept coming up with stroke, talking about how it was the most common thing to disable people like this, which just ignited the fear even harder, because my deepest and heaviest fear that I've had for as long as I can remember was to be disabled or paralyzed. It scared the crap out of me. So I have an overactive imagination that is very good at finding the worst case scenario, and boy was it doing a good job of finding that here. So I ended up getting a ride to the emergency room by my lovely girlfriend, and I was thinking out loud. I was just like, if I can't play music, I'm not sure I want to go on. If this is what life is, I'm not sure that I want it. And that might sound a bit dramatic, but you have to know that I was an aspiring musician who was working on the finishing touches of a handful of songs that I was recording. And it was the one thing that made me feel like I actually had something. The one thing I had that was worthwhile. Something that separated me from everyone else. Something that I could be proud of. And losing what in my mind was my life and my future, it hurt a lot. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't have a meltdown in the car there. But there's this scene in She's Out of My League that kind of tickled that sort of feeling with me, where they're talking and one guy's like, well, what about your crappy car? To which he says, artist exception, I'm expected to have a shitty car. And I kind of just extrapolated that into the rest of my life. I was looking at all the downfalls of my life as an artist exception, which is definitely not a good thing, but that's the way it was. So anyway, at the hospital, I get in there, and they get me into a CT scan to see if there's anything up. And when I get out, I'm talking to the doctor, and he starts asking me questions about whether I have a family history of MS, to which I said no. And then he's like, oh well, there's just a little white spot there, and I don't know. It's probably nothing. I don't think you need to be too worried about it, but that's what we saw. And yeah, so I left the hospital just feeling no better, a little bit defeated, with hands that no longer felt like my own. But I was thinking like, okay, I just need to I just need to get through this. I just need to get through my hands here. Boy, was I in for a surprise. Anywho, that's my little Cliff Notes story of my day of discovery. Keep on keeping on.